I'm going to call us to order and call the Governance and Personnel Committee of the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority to order. The first we're going to do is approve the minute meetings from March 14th. It's like a long time ago, but that is at the end, it was at the end of the last GA session. And so that's why they haven't, well, really, they haven't still technically they haven't signed any die, but nothing's happened since then. So let's put it like that. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Second. Okay, it's motion made by Mayor Davis. Aye.
One abstention.
So it'll be 2-1-2-1-2. Two. That's what
You can actually vote.
All right, well, I voted to approve it, but I wasn't.
well, 2-1-2 still by rules of order still passes, but it's a quorum in the room. So 2-1-2 still passes.
Well, you need numbers to approve.
Yeah.
Well, then we wouldn't be able to do any action tonight then. We can just move down to discussion items.
Did you have
Mayor Reed is a
Bylaws,
Yeah,
okay.
you have a quorum. Yeah.
But she is not approving.
Well, I wasn't here, but I can't
Yes, you
approve.
can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, she can. All right, then I approve. I'm easy. I'm so easy.
We won't say that, we won't say that on camera, but okay. Okay, that would be 3-0-2 with two people, Chair Jefferson and Delegate Sewell being with us in the room. Is Chair Jefferson not on? Is she on? Not yet. She won't be up until the main meeting.
We thought she was going to.
We understood she was going to be joining us.
For this one.
She may have seen the late start.
All right, we're going to go on to the other actions, the review of the draft bylaws revisions. Mr. Lungi?
Thank you, Chair Randall. The bylaws were last revised in September of 2021. So it was, I think that was for pandemic related things. We have a number of changes that we're recommending to the committee. This will require 2 visits to the authority once the committee is comfortable with the draft. What I'd like to do is just work through the items in your attachment. And I'll point out the ones, well, you'll see them anyway, to point out ones that have some significance to the ones that are just kind of typo corrections. And Alyssa is going to try to run along with me. So if we move to the actual draft. At the top of page 2, and the council worked on this with us as well and pointed out that we weren't using the full title for the Senate Committee on Finance and Appropriations. So that changes to just include the full title.
Right.
Further down.
And appropriations, okay.
Item 6 on that page, we're just clarifying, as has been the practice, that a town mayor can serve multiple terms, rather than it having to rotate each year between mayors.
You want to put down multiple consecutive terms?
We can do that.
Yeah, let's do that because, yeah. For obvious reasons, okay, Derek Woods.
On page 3, starting with meetings, item A, we're fixing a typo. Item C, we're changing the regular meetings to being adopted at the annual authority meeting to it needs to be done no later than that time period to allow consistency with what everybody else in the region is doing. We actually have a draft item, or not a draft item, a discussion item to just basically set those place markers tonight at the authority, because we can't, right now, we can't fully lock it in until January. Moving to page 4, about midway, public hearing. As we've gone through the pandemic, we're seeing a lot of changes in like the requirements of FOIA related public hearing notices, et cetera, et cetera. There's also some options to go fully virtual on that if you've got newspapers that meet certain requirements. So that all is still evolving, and what we are recommending is just change the wording to additional notice and advertisement as required by law. So as these things evolve, we don't have to come back and change the bylaws. The we are required now to pass FOIA policies on an annual basis. So, we'll be working it through the policy process. Further down, we're just clarifying the code section.
Take it, hold up, because in Delegate, so you might know this answer. So are we having is the discussion about public comments at any board meeting, or is it literally about a public hearing, which are actually two different things, and the notifications for what would be formally a public hearing?
Our public comment requirements for like ahead of a 2-year program update or something like that, or transaction, have their own specific.
Right, so this is literally a public hearing. We're talking, okay, all right.
Moving to page 6, top of the page, we're fixing a typo. And at the bottom of the page for committees, again, we're relating to policies versus having to turn the bylaw, those things involved. Page 7, the first committee, and this is where some of the changes do get to be somewhat substantial. For the Finance Committee, item D, we are taking out the word incidental. Frankly, the finance, in my personal opinion, the CFO, the Finance Committee can look at anything it wants.
Okay.
Not something that's limited to being incidental. Further down there, we're really trying to fill out the role of the Finance Committee. They do more than review. They comment on, they can make recommendations, and we have other policies that actually put them in part of the process if we were to choose to use any financing mechanism. So we're just kind of fleshing that out, fully fleshing out their role. Next page, page 8, number 2, membership, and this goes through the other committees as well. We're clarifying that the chairman of the NVTA appoints the committee members.
Can we not say chairman?
Chair. You can say chair.
You can say chair or chairperson.
Just say chair.
All throughout, yes, throughout, yeah, because we literally had that change via the law, like literally that changed, because it used to be that the chairman was required, and now it's no longer, it could be chairman, chairwoman, or chairperson by law, by code.
We'll make that change through the thing. Item 5, quorum and voting. At the October Finance Committee meeting, and item wasn't able to move forward because Randy Menchu was present, but we didn't have 3 jurisdiction members. So we're proposing to remove that wording from finance and GPC, but keep it with PPC, because PPC's role in making project recommendations to the authority is appropriate there. So moving to governance and personnel, again, as you guys will do later tonight.
She thought it was canceled.
As this committee will work on later tonight, we think development of the legislative program is better reflective of your activities rather than review. Further down, item 2, under governance and personnel, we're doing that membership appointment clarification. Moving to page 9, item 5, still under GPC, we're taking out the 3 jurisdictional representatives. Moving to planning programming committee, we are improving the wording on what the committee does by noting its full activities. The membership clarifications that we've discussed, and in number 5, you'll see that the inclusion of at least 3 jurisdictional representatives is still there. Technical Advisory Committee, TAC. As a reminder, TAC actually has 9 committee members. 3 are appointed by the CTB and 6 are
Chair. I didn't want the CTB chair.
CTB chair, thank you. And 6 are appointed locally. And we've had a lot of back and forth and confusion on this. It's really kind of operationally, it's a pretty workable process. So what we're proposing is obviously the CEO, in consultation with jurisdictions, will send a list of recommended appointments to the authority for the authority to adopt.
And can I intervene right here? I think we need to clean up where it says initially have the locally appointed members, because we did get that change to the
Right.
law. So the authority appoints the 6 members, and then the Secretary of Transportation, well, the law says the chair of the CTB, which is secretary, appoints 3. So we should change the locally appointed to authority appointed.
Which we do on if somebody is to be removed. Because the authority can't remove the CTV members. Moving to page 11 at the top.
But I just want to make sure, although there are no changes, I don't know that I understand what you're saying on number 3. The chairman and vice chairman of TAC shall be appointed by the chair of the chair and vice chair of TAC. Is what you're saying right there? Should be appointed by the chair of MBTA.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Page 11 at the top, quorum and voting for PCAC. We're obviously looking at a big replacement here. A quorum will consist of 5 members. That it looks like it's a change, but it really isn't. It's the way the software works.
585. So that's what it looks like. 585 members.
And we're changing what happens when the committee wants to make a recommendation, especially if there is disagreement. Rather than going through the process that's out redlined, we're keeping it like the TAC does, and that is a majority and minority report.
So does that mean things report out with no recommendation?
Potentially, yes.
I don't know that I enjoy that. I mean, I don't mind a minority report, but I think if it comes out with the majority of the votes, you should have a recommendation on the majority and still have a minority report.
Okay.
That's my thought. What do you guys think?
It's like the dissenting opinion on the Supreme Court.
Kind of,
I mean, you
or on any of our boards, even. I mean, I want
Right.
to know what it was.
But there's always a dissenting.
But there's still a recommendation. Yeah.
There's still a recommendation,
Yeah.
or a decision, or.
I'll make that change.
Okay, thank you.
This also strikes the requirement that any decisions by PCAC be read twice. Just a rather cumbersome process getting people to show up to redo the work they've already done. But I do want to point that out that this proposes taking that out. And the good news is on page 12, we're fixing 2 typos. And that's the last of the changes.
Okay.
With that, if you choose, I can bring this back with the additional changes that we just discussed. Or if you prefer, you can change the motion to accept the recommended authority adoption with the changes.
As amended, as amended, that would be right. I trust you. I trust you with $1 billion. To make these recommendations. So I will move approval of the authorities draft amendments to the bylaws with the addition of the changes made during this PC meeting. Second.
Oh, second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed 401. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Jefferson, are you there? Chair Jefferson, are you there? Looks like
I am here. I apologize. I am not feeling at all well this evening. I am here.
Would you like to vote for this item or not?
I will vote in favor.
Okay, so that's a 5-0 vote. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And you're gonna change everywhere it says chairman to chair, right?
Yes.
I know better
we
than to
will.
disappoint you. Looking at the committee membership.
Also very good point. All right, then we have one item for discussion. That's the 2025 LED program. Wow, here we go. Miss School.
Stars of the hour.
So I will start off. We do not have a new ask. Like last year, we did have a change in how the technical advisory committee members, the six, were appointed. We do not have that necessarily. What you will see, or what you see in front of you, is pretty much consistent with where we've been since 2018 regarding non-diversion of revenues from MBTA and restoring revenues to MBTA. And having said that, I will turn it over to Ms. Boehner.
But before, so I read through this and it is correct that there is not a new ask and we're still saying what we've said before. However, there's also something we're not saying, and this may need to be done in more of a support of a policy statement. And that is that we actually do not want to take on the responsibility of maintenance and operations. That wouldn't divert money. It's not that it would divert money, or it could divert money, or it could cause us to go through another round of taxing our constituents again. And so in order to neither divert money or tax constituents again, a policy statement that says that if the MBTA would oppose any efforts to amend House Bill 2313 to add maintenance and operations might be a policy statement we want to add to things. Does council have any thoughts, objections? You're not just paying no attention to me. You have a serious face, like you're always listening to me, but really, you're just reading the comics. So I was saying that for the most part, this is the same, legislation updated. And it says that we don't want to have any money diverted and that we want to have our money put back. However, what we don't say via a policy statement is that we also do not want to open up, because wouldn't we have to open up 2313?
Yes.
We have to open up,
Yes.
that we will oppose opening up 2313 for the purpose, for the purpose of.
No, like processing for like political, I completely am in agreement.
Okay.
I'm thinking politically.
Yeah.
Is this, I'm gonna look to you,
Yes.
of value?
Okay, fair question.
Fair question.
Fair.
Do we want, you know
We
what I
wanna
mean? Like,
put
do
it
we
out
want-
there.
Yeah,
What you're saying
exactly.
is like,
You don't want to say.
It's out
Is
there
this a
already.
fact? I mean, I think that everyone knows where we stand, right? So
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
chair likes to
I
be
get
very
asked of it
clear.
I get asked it a lot.
do you?
Every time I go to something representing MBTA, it's always a question, oftentimes the first question.
And
And
is
I'm
it from
not-
a certain particular individual, or is this from a group?
It's from the
It's-
Alliance, it's
I
from.
think you're picking up what I'm
it's from
picking.
people.
Well, the Alliance will ask it to confirm that we don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's not just from the.
Okay, okay, then let's switch you it.
Yeah, and I think.
That's what I needed.
And where I think I would like to put it, Madam Chair, is in the section where we talk about keeping our current authority, keeping our current portfolio, keeping our current
Keeping our current
responsibilities,
portfolio, okay.
our portfolio, which is for capital improvements that reduce
All right.
congestion
Mhm.
relative
All
to
right.
costs.
All right, that's.
Which, and then we'll find language that says, including, and this means we're not gonna do maintenance and operations. I won't say it that way, but.
I don't like that, but.
You're saying don't raise any antennas that are not already raised, but I think they're already raised to some degree, like.
It's getting raised.
Well,
It's,
earmarks. for-
it's getting, well, that goes to
It's-
the authority.
It's no longer an echo chamber is what you're telling me.
No.
So that's good to know.
Yeah, it pops up.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it'll pop up through the end of DMV moves discussion.
Which are never gonna end.
So,
Yeah, that, yeah. I
So,
did.
so I'll work on some language to put it in that
Put
section,
it somewhere so we can point to it.
point to
And
it.
have it, and point to it, and also equip our delegate and our the senators to point to it also.
And we're happy to do so.
Right. And part of that is we also intend to have a one pager. We were just talking
Yeah.
about this, that summarizes some of the things that Ms. Bachman did during the first annual transportation
Yeah.
forum, which was some really good overview of the,
She did a great
you know,
job.
what the authority is responsible for by code, how well we've done in accomplishing that, and how much more there is to be done, therefore leave us alone.
Yeah.
We're doing what you. We have a vision, we're executing what you charged us
Don't
with.
change our scope.
And
That's right. Thank you. Don't change our scope. That's the best way to put it.
Don't change those. Okay, all right, just want to make sure it's somewhere.
Makes sense.
Okay, and
Um,
I also feel just a little better anyway, because it does feel like that our delegates and our senator are on board with us.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
There's that.
there is that.
Thank you for your input.
Right. Sort of from a more technical perspective, from a regional perspective, because, you know, the liaisons and all, we've been talking about our transportation agenda for 2025, short session, yay, in theory. In theory, 45 days, 46 days. That, as you recall, we have 2 years of gap funding for Metro and relief from the 3% cap, FY 25, FY 26. We want to make sure FY 26 stays exactly the way it is. We have not been told there needs to be any more money or any change in language. Just leave it alone, put a box around it and don't touch it. And that's what we're hoping is going to happen. We have no indication that it's not, but that is literally what we're all sort of uber focused on. What's in the introduced budget? And then does that stay that way through the end of session? I think there's been talk about using this time with all the members of the General Assembly to the extent that we can, to do some education about transit in Northern Virginia writ large, which is everybody, local systems, VRE, WMATA, to those of us or to the members who don't live here, not and ask, but just talk about the role that transit plays in our community, in our economy.
For the purpose of our economy as it contributes to the state economy?
That absolutely has to be part of the education process. If you're gonna accept that Northern Virginia's economy is about 44% of the state's economy, and if transit is an integral part of making that hum along, then it's important to the entire state and not just us.
Yeah. I mean, like Fairfax alone is 24% of the state economy. It's just, I agree, and there's such hard discussions to have because you don't want to be offensive,
Exactly.
right? So you want to be able to say, listen, you got your money.
We just have to make
Can
that.
struggle.
Every region has their thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
There's 81,
Mhm.
there's Hampton Roads, all those bridges and tunnels.
Mhm.
Ours just happens to be right now transit. So,
Okay.
but other than that, Ms. Bachman explained that there's not a lot of new here.
Yeah.
Again, short session, hopefully in and out.
You said it.
I'm gonna speak it into existence.
Please do.
I'm signing back the letter.
So that is where we are. I've been comparing my language with what BRE and the Virginia Transportation Commission has and others. So we're all speaking, pretty much of the same thing. Again, there's no question that there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting on, I think, transportation writ larger than just Northern Virginia, probably in 2026. Because all transportation modes and systems are wrestling with, while inflation increases are down, the prices have not gone down. So prices went up for everything from labor to materials, and they're not retreating. And so that is, we're starting to see longer term implications of that.
Let's just see who the Secretary of Transportation is gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, So anyway, so that's what 2025 looks like. It is a budget adjustment year. Delegate Sewell will be at a retreat next week. We'll House Appropriations and then Senate Finance and Appropriations will have their annual retreat. So they'll be getting, I saw the agendas. So they'll be getting, really deep dives into some of the major drivers of the budget, as well as sort of what the revenue outlook is looking like. So that'll shape a lot of the discussion.
Like House Appropriations, is that literally, is that all of you? Is that everybody?
So
So
it's
it's not just
appropriations committee and it's the finance committee, and we will all be together.
Fine.
Okay. Where you at? Where's that gonna be?
Abington.
Abington, Virginia.
Right down 81.
Oh, long way down anyway.
I just got back from there. so
It's really-
right there.
First, the homestead?
Is that the 8 hours?
Oh,
No,
it's 6
it's-
hours away.
It's
Closer than the homestead.
yeah.
We're like essentially in Bristol.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are. Essentially in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's beautiful though.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful
very-
part of the state for
It
sure.
is.
And so we'll get a better sense of sort of what numbers are gonna look like and get a sense of some spending priorities are gonna be for the upcoming discussion, as I'd like to say.
Great.
And then the governor presents his budget December 18th, I think it is.
18th, yeah.
Okay.
December 18th. So that'll start the discussions.
Interesting, okay. Alright. And the session starts the 8th?
Yes.
I think there's a schedule in the.
Yeah, but
back
Page
of
2.
this.
Yeah, some of those dates are sort of, we think they're gonna be, you have to pass a operating resolution first day. But that's probably pretty close.
February 2nd.
Yeah.
We're anticipating.
Yeah, that's what I figured, and those dates will be finalized and you'll pass your operating resolution.
Any other questions for Ms. Wagner, Ms. Baynard, or Ms. Arkansas? This session,
Okay, that one.
you hope so. That's what you like those.
I would love for it.
Yeah. Hello. Sure, I'm sure you probably come up to say that, yeah. Anything else? Sheriff Jefferson, do you have any questions?
I am good. Thank you for giving me a chance to ask any questions.
Wonderful. If we have no other business come before us, then we will adjourn. And wait, we will adjourn, we are adjourned. And we have pictures.
Yes, I think that's in about 15 minutes.
And where
So
will we
you-
do them this year?
You're gonna be in our nice spacious little open area behind the kitchen. So if you.
Downstairs, we go back.
Oh,
down.
no, right
Here.
in, yeah, right. We try to keep everything in our new space.
Nice background.
Okay. Well, I'll see what Abigail has. I will see what she has.
It's nice because I saw what it was before we did the construction. Just
There
keep
was
that,
dinner in the
keep
kitchen.
that in mind.
Well, the other place, it wasn't downstairs because it wasn't just like the white
Yeah.
walls. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that was a good place.
Miss Sharara does all these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Why